Good evening. Today I will talk about the contract law. Without wasting time, I'll start by defining the contract. The contract is defined as an element between two or more parties with a binding nature. In essence, the agreement with legal enforceability is said to be it creates and defines the duties and obligations of the parties involved. A contract is an agreement giving the rights and obligations that are enforced or recognized by law. In common law, there are three essentials to the creation of a contract: agreement, contractual intention, and consideration. The first requisite of a contract is that the parties should have reached an agreement. Generally speaking, an agreement is reached when one party makes an offer which is accepted by another party. Stover versus Manchester City Council, 1974. An offer is an expression of willingness to contract on specified terms, made with the intention that it is to be binding once accepted by the person to whom it is addressed. Stover versus Manchester City, 1974. For instance, in the case of construction project, the owner of the project makes an offer of the value in monetary time. In construction, an offer is the starting point and foundation of all legally binding contracts. In the case study, Greenfield Estates made an offer to Blue Sky Construction Limited to carry out a construction project of building a new residential complex. Therefore, as provided, an offer is one of the essential elements of a contract in the construction industry. Under this project, the contract value was £10 million. Once an offer is made by the client, who is also project sponsor and owner of the implementer, and in this case Blue Sky Construction Limited, accept the offer. As such, acceptance is another essential element of a contract. Acceptance is the agreement to the specific conditions that transform the offer into a legally binding contract. In this contract, some of the conditions included that the project must be completed within 18 months at the fixed price of £10 million. Further, the contract included a clause which stated that any delays caused by Blue Sky Construction Limited would incur liquidated damages of £10,000 per day. An acceptance is a final and unqualified expression of assent to the terms of an offer. Acceptance has no legal effect until it is communicated to the offerer, because it could cause hardship to the offerer to be bound without knowing that his effort has been accepted. The general rule is that a postal acceptance takes effect when the letter of acceptance has been posted. It has been accepted. The letter of acceptance is posted. Hethani versus Freither, 1892. Another essential element of a contract is consideration. Consideration is something of value exchanged between parties. In this case, something of the value being exchanged under the agreement is the building of a new residential complex. This exchange is between Greenfield Estates and Blue Sky Construction Limited. This is also important as it is a package that satisfies the parties involved in the contract. Consideration is something of value that is given for a promise and is required to make the promise enforceable as a contract. This is traditionally either some detriment to the promise that he may give value, and for some benefit of the promiser is in that he may receive value. Although a promise has no contractual force unless some value has been given for it. Consideration need to be adequate. Courts do not in general ask whether adequate value has been given in the case of in the sense of there being any economic equivalence between the value of the consideration given and the value of any goods or services received. This is because they do not normally interfere with the bargain made between the parties. Accordingly, normal consideration is sufficient. Bryan versus Tan Tievohen, 1880. Further, legal capacity is another essential element of a contract in the construction industry. Legal capacity spells out that the parties must have the legal capacity to enter into a contract. Legal capacity includes such issues such issues as a compliance with regulatory and state obligations. This include registration of a company and necessity certifications of standards as required by state agencies. Mutual awareness and assent are also part of the essential elements of a contracts in the construction industry. Mutual awareness and assent provides that both parties must understand and agree to the terms. Under the contract, Blue Sky Construction Limited and Greenfield Estate agreed that Blue Sky Construction Limited will construct a new residential complex and Greenfield Estate will pay £10 million. Further, they also agreed that the construction will be completed within 18 months and any delays will attract liquidated damages of 10,000 per day. Finally, any contract in the construction industry contains an element of legality. Legality as an element of a contract states that the contract must not violate any laws or public policy. For instance, these laws could include environment conservation issues, town planning issues, and corporate responsibility issues. References Stover versus Manchester City Council 1974. Thank you very much.